Hello friends, my name's TheRealEmile and welcome back to Forza Horizon 2. It was DLC day yesterday. The patch didn't work, they couldn't get it to push the patch out correctly. I don't know how you messed that up, but they did. So anyway, we have a new car pack for April and it is the Furious 7 car park. Now these are all the cars from the standalone Forza standalone game thing. So yeah, let's get into it. First up, we got the 2015 Dodge Challenger Fast and Furious edition. This looks absolutely fantastic. I cannot wait to give this one a go. Likewise, the Dodge Charger Fast and Furious edition. Again, very cool looking car. I'm looking forward to this. We've got Dodge Charger, the Fast and Furious version again. This is the car we're going to be using today, and I'll explain why in a minute. We got the Jeep Wrangler Unlimited bulletproofy thing. Again, it could be interesting to drive. My favourite car, the Gibble, or the Ghibli, depending on how you want to say that. Very cool car this. I love the Ghibli. I think it's fantastic looking, and yeah, very cool car. We got the Cuda. It's another Cuda. We've got the Plymouth, Roadrunner. And we've got the free car of the pack, which is the Toyota Supra Fast and Furious edition. Now, one thing you may notice is all these cars are actually pretty much like on the level PI. They're like they were in the standalone game, and that annoys me because stuff like the Ghibli, I believe this has about 400 horsepower usually. However, this version has 618. And the problem with these all being the top of their classes is half of them aren't actually that competitive. This Supra, for example, has the suspension feels quite wallowy. It's got way too much power for what it is. But the worst one by far is Dodge Charger. This is what we're using today because, of course, as you'll see, most of these are like modern muscles and JDM icons. We've already done pretty much all these categories, save for the US Street Muscle. There's 3 US Street cars, so we're doing a bit of a full-length special today. Now, usually I wouldn't upgrade the DLC cars. I don't usually do this just so you can get an idea for how they drive. However, in the case of this Charger, I'm going to have to. Also, quick thing, that actually works. The Supercharger is extremely cool. I absolutely love that. But anyway, let me show you the problem with the Charger. Okay, off the line, yes, it's quite slidey. First gear, you can do 90 miles an hour in. Second gear, we get up to, it's climbing 152, and then we hit third gear, and that's it. There's no more gears. It's got 3 gears, and the ratios are ridiculous. I actually had this problem when I first loaded up the Fast and Furious. I'm gonna get this stopped. It will go on to 200, but you'll hit that wall. Yeah, this is the problem I had in the actual standalone game. I got in this car first and I thought, oh, it's gonna be alright, and I just kept changing gears when you can't. It also feels like there's no diff. So when you go around corners, it hits max revs instantly. That's usually the sign that you need a differential. So we are going to have to upgrade this car a little bit. First thing, it needs a diff. Second thing, it needs a racing gearbox. Hopefully that actually gives us 6 gears. Can we do anything to the tyres? Okay, apparently it's already on race tyres. We're going to up the tyre widths slightly on these. Yeah, 345s on the rear. They're pretty sizable. Come on, buy it. There you go. I'm not gonna throw any aero on. I was kind of hoping they'd have some of like the crazy off-road mods, but apparently not. Apparently that increases the PI. Do we want a wing? Nah. Can we do any engine swaps? No, but we can make it 4-wheel drive. That's heresy. Yeah. Ooh, actually, yes. Brakes. Oh, thank God. Yes, nice brakes. Please tell me there's no... Ah, this is already on race suspension, okay. And let's just dump some of the weight out of it. 900 horsepower, you can't up that anymore, thank God. I don't know why you'd want to. The supercharger's still spinning, which is quite funny. Alright, so let us go and do our first race. We'll do a point-to-point street racy thing, because that's kind of what this car was made for, street racing. Ooh. Oh, it's got gears. They're so nice. They might need stretching a bit, actually, though. It's got proper gears. Finally. Ah, dear. So, yeah, the Fast and Furious expansion. I never really did a video on it. I was going to, and then I sort of decided not to. So, I guess I'll explain some of my thoughts towards the standalone game. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It didn't... A lot of people complain it took forever to download. For me, personally, my internet powered through it. And that's strange, because my internet's very inconsistent. I can imagine there'd be loads of people with faster internet, but apparently everyone else was having trouble with it. But for me, it downloaded within an hour, so that was fine. Control batteries are low, great. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. It was very short, admittedly, it only took 2 hours, and to be honest with you, the achievements were ludicrously easy. Oh god, I can't drive this thing. Yeah, the achievements were quite ludicrously easy. The only one I only had to look at the achievement list once, and that was because you need to drain your full nitrous tank, and that was it. Yeah, the easiest game to get 1,000 game score on I think I've ever seen, save for maybe that Avatar game, but I never played that, so I don't really know. Yeah. I ended up downloading it on 360 as well. On 360, I actually preferred it, because the main issue I had with the standalone is there was no car customization. And you may be saying, oh well, you know, you could kind of expect that from a standalone game. I mean, yeah, you could. I mean, if they gave you full customization, I can imagine it would be a bit odd. But the problem with that is, and I know it's Fast and Furious, and I know the whole point of Fast and Furious is it's supposed to be heavy modified cars power sliding. The problem is all the cars in the game power slided. No, power slided? That's terrible English. Sorry. Had oversteer problems. There you go. Save for you actually, if you follow me on Twitter, you probably gather that I basically said, is there any car in this game that doesn't drive like complete toss? And then I unlocked the GTR, and yeah, the four-wheel drive cars are much more drivable. By the end of the game, I found myself not using any of the unique cars to the game. I found myself more just using cars like the McLaren P1 and the Veyron and GTR, instead of using like the cars that are specific to the game, just because they were not very nice to drive at all. Yeah, that was my only huge complaint. That it was a bit short. I would have liked a few extra cars maybe, but it was free, so you can't really complain that much. Yeah, it's a lot better than the previous Fast and Furious game, because last time Fast and Furious tried to make a game, it was okay. It was called Tokyo Drift. It was actually a pretty good game, from what I remember from the PS2. I ended up trading it in because, you know, this was when I thought trading in was a good thing, when it turns out it really isn't. But yeah, it was an alright game, I guess. I blew all my money trying to make Hans's RX-7 though. I love the detail on that supercharger. There's a hell of a lot of detail in all these cars, which is a good thing, to be fair. So overall, this Charger, after giving it a proper gearbox, it's not terrible. It's still quite slidey. I probably should have thrown the rear wing on, but I didn't want to ruin the look of it too much, so I didn't. Yeah, not the greatest car in the world, but, you know, it was alright. Our next car, we are going to use the Cuda, the Plymouth Cuda, Fast and Furious edition. Now, I know that was Dom's car from the first Fast and Furious. I presume it makes an appearance in the 7th film. I haven't seen the 7th film yet. I'm going to go see it within the week at some point. Don't ruin it for me. There's a lot of people who would probably at this point say, oh, well, why don't you just pirate it? I'd still like going to the cinema and various other things. You know, it's a good experience. And as well as that, you know, I think people deserve money for what they do, and it's almost out of respect for Brian. I will notice all the RPM gauges on these cars are exactly the same. Jesus Christ, this does not get off the line very well. I never drove this car in the standalone, so God knows what this drives like. Well, I probably did, but I just don't remember it. Oh, jeez. Okay, we're quite lax. Now, I believe throughout the Fast and Furious 7, this is Lottie's car, or Michelle Rodriguez's, I believe that's her name, her actor's car. From what I could gather from the Forza blurb thing they gave us, yeah, this is the car she drives, and then later on she has, I think it's either the Charger or the Challenger, or Dom gets one of them, Lottie gets the other one, that's all I know. And Jason Statham's character drives the fantastic Maserati Gabili, which is my favourite car from this pack. I love the Gabili, I think it's fantastic. Or Ghibli, sorry. Gabili? I don't know, there's many ways to pronounce that car. Ghibli, yes. So basically the way to overtake cars in this is to ram them out the way and then just throw your rear end out and they can't really get past you. Yeah, this is drives very much like an old muscle car would. It's very lax. How much power are we rolling on? Look over that way, the sun's... okay, it's got about 670 horsepower. I saw it flick over to there. Yeah, that's a bit too much for an A-class car, and it kind of shows. The handling is, well, what handling? Oh god, get it stopped. The brakes aren't that bad, but oh god. Don't get me wrong, I like old muscle cars, some of them anyway. I love the 69 Charger, and some of the old Mustangs as well are quite cool. I don't really like the Chevy Camaro because it's a bit of a, I don't know, it's a bit in the Mustang shadow, to be perfectly honest. I love the Daytona as well. Unfortunately, that's not in this game. It is in the 360 version, but it's not in this game. But I just don't like driving them. Don't get me wrong, they're all very nice to look at, but when it comes to driving them in these games, they're always pretty terrible. Very powerful, very good in a straight line, but oh god, the corners. I'm having to fight this thing around. If you've just downloaded the pack and you're looking for a car to go online racing in, this definitely should not be your first choice. I do have to admit though, it does look pretty fantastic. I quite like it. I'm not usually a huge fan of the Cuda. I would prefer its sister car, the Dodge Challenger, the original one, but this Cuda does look pretty smart in black with the Cuda AA thing written on this, AAA thing, sorry, written on the side of it. Yeah, this does look quite smart. I believe it's got the rear end from a 73 Cuda, from what I read. I'm not a huge, like I said, I'm not a huge Cuda enthusiast, but all the cars have got the same rev counter, so they all go up to 10,000 revs, but this only goes up to 7,000. That's not the best thing in the world. There we go. There's a Chevelle, and that's a Roadrunner, isn't it? That's our next car, by the way, the Plymouth Roadrunner, as soon as we get there. So yeah, I thought Dom's Charger was bad, but no, this is a hell of a lot worse than Dom's Charger. Actually, Dom's Charger feels like a Lotus compared to this. Not the best car in the world to drive, ever, to be perfectly honest with you. Alright, that might be because of the rain though. Right, next up, Town Square Circuit. Ooh, God, come on, get going. Get going, you can get up the hill, go on. Ugh. More sliding, stop sliding, jeez. Oh, I just remembered, I need to take a photo of these cars, don't I? Oh, there's a... Can I have your Pagani? you can have this Cuda. Yeah, I think... No. No, the Pagani's much more expensive than this one, am I thinking. This... the good thing with the Fast and Furious cars, actually, is they did do the price ranges about right on them. They're fairly upgraded versions of some of the standard cars, so like this Cuda. The normal Cuda's a C-Class. This is A-Class. Where's the Roadrunner? There it is. To be fair, the Roadrunner's probably the best looking muscle car out of all of them, in my opinion. Pretty fantastic looking. At least in this game, anyway. I prefer the 69 Charger, obviously, but... Yeah. But... Yeah, they're fairly well priced. The Supra, the standard Supra is 25,000. The upgraded one's 34,000, which for an S1 car does make that ridiculously cheap. But yeah, I mean, they haven't all got the upgrades you'd particularly want on them. Oh god, don't tell me this guy's got dodgy gears as well. Yep, okay. Well, this is actually the barn find in the standalone game, which isn't actually that hard to find. I believe it's in exactly the same barn, one of the barn finds from the real games so. Ooh, God. I don't want to kill a very, very expensive Chevelle. I also want to do a bit better than I am doing. I missed the checkpoint. Oh, that's how I missed the checkpoint. I was about to get quite angry, but okay. There we go. Not the best driving from me in the world, but then again, these aren't exactly the type of cars I usually like to drive. Yeah. Honestly, in my personal opinion, I get why the Supra's upgraded, I get why Dom's Charger's upgraded. Cars like this Roadrunner probably should have they should have taken all the silly, powery, fast and furious bits they put on them. At least in my opinion. You know, you can still have the cars from the game, and you can still have them in the same colours and what's not. Jesus Christ. I can speak English sometimes. I'm quite ill at the moment, and yeah. I haven't spoken at length today either, so that's sort of, yeah. Anyway, I wish they'd left cars like this Roadrunner and the Ghibli stock. That's just my personal opinion, but, you know. I presume they're just imported straight away from the game, which sort of begs the question, why weren't these cars released instantly instead of waiting for this April DLC thing to come out? My answer to that is I don't know. Also, these cars aren't on 360, which does beg the other question, why aren't they? Because all the cars from this expansion are on the 360. It's, I don't know. I do have a few complaints about this pack, like I said. The cars are already upgraded. The cars honestly aren't, like, don't get me wrong, I love some of them. The new Charger, the new Challenger, the new the Ghibli, even Dom's Charger. I like these cars being in here, but I think this should have came out the same time the expansion did, personally, instead of coming out as the April DLC. But, I mean, at least these cars are in Horizon 2 now. I have wanted them in Horizon 2, so at least it's over with now, but I don't know, I'd still prefer an April DLC, a proper one. Maybe they'll surprise us with one next week, but I highly doubt it. But overall, should you buy this pack? Because, of course, the Car Pass now is irrelevant. We've had our Car Pass DLCs. This is one that you now have to pay for. In case you're wondering, it's $5 or £4. They're the US and English ones. They're what most of my demographic uses. Europe, I presume it'll be about €5 for you as well. And the rest of the world, you're going to have to work that out into your own currency. Is it worth it? Well, we get 8 cars instead of the usual 6. But, of course, the trade-off with that is a few of these cars were technically already in the game, like this Supra was. Actually, why is the GTR not in this game? I just worked that out. The Fast and Furious GTR isn't here either. I don't know why that's not a thing. But is it worth it for £4? Personally, it's a bit weird asking me, because I think everything Forza releases is probably worth the money. I'm going to buy it anyway. It depends what sort of a car guy you are. If you do like your muscle cars a lot, then yeah, I think this pack definitely has a lot to offer you. I mean, there's 5 muscle cars in total. You know, this pack does offer a lot of muscle for your buck. So if you like your muscle cars, get it. If you're a fan of the Fast and Furious franchise, I would say, yeah, get it. If you liked the 7th film, get it. I guess you can drive some of the iconic cars in it. Even those of us who haven't seen the 7th film will probably find some joy in this pack. If you're not a Fast and Furious fan, and you don't like your muscle cars, however, I would find it a bit hard to justify this pack. Personally, for me, I've got a Buick on my front thing. Personally, for me, the Beely pretty much sells this pack for me. But for you, it might be a bit different. Ooh, what's that going off over there? Quick, let's take a photo. Money. There we go. So, overall, it depends on your opinion of the Fast and Furious franchise, as well as your opinion of muscle cars, I'd say. If you like both of them, then get it. Definitely worth it. Even if you don't, I would probably say it's worth it, but that's just me. Now, for this final race, I fancy using the Dodge Dart, actually. I was tempted to use one of the Fast and Furious cars, but, you know, we've run out of them, so we may as well use a car that I was going to use in this category anyway, which is the Dodge Dart, which is a car I absolutely love. As I just said, make it clear, this isn't part of the DLC. This car's actually in the standard game. And the Dodge Dart's absolutely fantastic. Where is she? There she is. Dressed up in all the... Oh god, what's this car from? I can't remember. It's usually on a Ford Falcon. I want to say Mad Max, but I severely doubt it is. It's also got an old style bloody Speedo, which is fantastic. So yeah, alright, I thought that was Carmen. So I've given my thoughts on the pack. For those of you who are slightly interested in me, yeah, I've got a bit of an illness going on at the moment, so my voice might not sound exactly perfect. I recorded some Horizon Let's Plays, and it was really bad. You heard one of them yesterday, and yeah, it wasn't particularly good. So the next episode of that one's going to come out in a couple of days. We're going to have an 1,000 Club for today, I think, later on. And then we'll probably do a Horizon 1 Let's Play video tomorrow. He's gone into a tree. Also, there was no... there was no Horizon 2 Let's Play the other day. I do apologise slightly for that, but that's sort of the way these things work. Sorry about that. I just had some other things to do. I was actually recording for the Forza 5 Top Gear laps. I hope you managed to check that video out. Pretty cool one. I'm seriously looking forward to doing that as a series. In the end, I couldn't really think of many more disciplines we'd had to do as far as car class goes. So in the end, I just decided, you know what, we'll forget it for this week. Which, to be fair, is a bit of a shame considering I've done this now since this game first came out. But yeah, we're rapidly running out of classes of car, which is a wee bit unfortunate. But, I mean, this is the way these things work. Whether we'll get them wrapped up all in time for Forza 6, I do need to go through and just quickly calculate what we've got left to do, and so on and so forth. Hopefully we can get all the classes done for Forza 6. And then as soon as that game comes out, we pretty much will be switching full on to Forza 6 and everything. So, unless we want to do some retro-ish content, I will be switching entirely over to Forza 6 within everything about that game. So, yeah, that's my current plans for now. Finish off the Horizon 2 series. Get as much as the Forza 5 series as we can done. I'm going to do some more Top Gear laps because I'm finding them fun. And these videos will continue. So, oh, and also full speed ahead for Forza 6. We're going to make a huge push on Forza 6, and hopefully it goes well.
Okay guys, that wraps up today's racing in Sisteron. Gather up at the hub when you're ready to move on, and we'll head to the next destination of this road trip.
Anyway, friends, I want to thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you next time. And until next time, farewell.